I really aim to not be all gloom and doom. I prefer to bring you a weekly dose of positivity and inspiration. And after last week's episode, which focused on the reasons to break up with alcohol, you may think, after listening today, that I am coming for all of your favorites. Because this week, we're going to clean the toxins out of our pantries and our refrigerators and our freezers and our medicine chest. Remember, it's all about living a longer, stronger, healthier, and better life. And I am here to help you to do just that. This is the Wishing You Well podcast, and I am health and wellness coach Maria Patrick, also known as your weekly health guide. I break down the latest news in health in order to keep you healthy and safe. Right after I dropped my podcast last week on the United States Surgeon General's warning about the link between alcohol and cancer, the headlines all over the news were about how people, particularly women, are getting diagnosed with cancer at much younger ages. The speculation in the articles that I read is that it's because of alcohol drinking and tobacco use. And then, right after that, our news feeds exploded with what we're going to focus on today. The Federal Drug Administration, the FDA, finally regulating red dye number 3 in foods and beverages and supplements and medications. The reason I said finally is that because 35 years ago, the FDA mandated that the toxic red dyes be removed from makeup products, but they left the foods alone. So this latest ban coming from the FDA is considered a huge victory for food and health advocates. Social media was filled with people who were posting video clips of themselves cheering over the January 15th announcement that the US FDA has banned the use of red dye number 3 in, as I mentioned, food, beverages, and ingested drugs. What is red dye number 3? It's a synthetic color additive, and as I said, 35 years ago, it was declared by scientists to have links to cancer in lab rats, in animals, and so it was banned from cosmetics because of the potential cancer risks in people. This latest announcement may leave you with more questions than answers. Namely, what is red dye number 3 used for, and what is it located in? Let's try to unpack those answers together. Red dye number 3, for the most part, it's largely used to give food and drinks a bright red color. And it's made from petroleum, which has the chemical name of erythrocine. The food manufacturers have now been given 2 years to get the red out, and drug manufacturers have an extra year. They have to remove the red by January of 2028. Lots of people have weighed in on this big news, saying that it's long overdue. It's a step in the right direction, in my personal opinion, albeit a small one, that it's hopefully a very positive sign that the FDA has renewed its efforts to crack down on the food industry, and that making our food safe is finally becoming a priority. There are so many advocacy organizations that have been working on this, spearheading petitions about it for years. Groups like the Environmental Working Group, I'll mention them again later, the Center for Food Safety, the Center for Environmental Health, Breast Cancer Prevention Partners, and the Center for Science in the Public Interest. These groups have been working tirelessly to advocate for the removal of cancer-causing toxins from common foods, common meds, and household products. There's been a small move in this direction over the last few years, and if you get out your magnifying glass, as I do, to examine the labels of your vitamins and your protein powders as just an example. You may have already noticed that some companies have been beginning to replace red dye number 3 in their products with natural alternatives like beet juice and red cabbage pigments and carmine, which is a coloring made from insects. So that's the good news. But if you're a fan of that very popular milk that you think is red because it's got strawberries in it, or those cute and colorful marshmallow peeps which show up in your Easter basket every year, then you're going to want to take action today and not wait the 2 years that it could take for the companies to remove the red. So where is red dye number 3 most commonly found? Brace yourself for what I'm about to tell you. Get out a pad and a pencil or a pen to take notes and get ready to clean out your cupboards. Despite the fact that this was a very big announcement last week, and many reporting agencies released the news, it's actually been difficult to find a complete and comprehensive list of the things that we are purchasing and ingesting that contain red dye number 3. You would think that the comprehensive list would have been publicly broadcast everywhere. The news reports have referenced a few popular things, like Jelly Belly jelly beans, like the sour crunchy crawlers, like something I used to have a lot when I was a tween and a teen, Double Bubble Original Twist bubble gum. But they didn't give a complete list. And I'm going to attempt to give you the highlights, more comprehensive highlights than you may have already read or heard. I'm going to attempt to give you those today. But I won't be able to give you a complete list. We don't have enough time for me to give you the complete list because according to the Environmental Working Group, EWG, more than 3,000 products contain red dye number 3. So I'm going to break down the highlights by category, starting with candy. And I have to admit that I have in the past purchased some of these items for my own children. They've shown up in their stockings and their Easter baskets and been given out as favors at childhood birthday parties. Gummy bears, licorice, Pez candy, the bubblegum that I mentioned earlier, Brock's candy corn, the Jelly Belly jelly beans, those Sour Patch little kids, the marshmallow peeps, ring pop lollipops, bomb pop nerds, candy wafers, hard candies, cinnamon candies, taffy and sour taffy bombs, See's peanut butter candy, and dark chocolate bars. Why is there red dye in dark chocolate bars and peanut butter candy? You're going to find yourself asking that question repeatedly as I continue by category to give you some highlights. Let's move on to food items. Some of them won't surprise you, like the top of the list, fruity cereals. But how about Spanish rice and saffron yellow rice and paella rice and seafood mixes, Spanish-style tomato sauces, dipping sauces, stuffed clams, sugar cookie mixes, cake mixes, chocolate chip cookie mixes, beef snack sticks, turkey snack sticks, waffle mixes, gingerbread mixes, ranch and bacon pasta salad mixes, fish cakes, frankfurters, smoked sausages, smoked salmon, Canadian bacon, bacon bits, flavored bagels, cheese balls, gravies, chicken nuggets, vegetarian meats, GNC protein bars, and Betty Crocker just about everything, including their casserole potatoes, their mashed potatoes, and their pasta salad mixes. Moving on to the category of baked goods and snacks. You've got Entenmann's Little Bites. You've got the Entenmann's Mini Muffins. You've got Entenmann's Cakes. You've got Betty Crocker Fruit by the Foot. You've got Jell-O pudding snacks. You've got toaster pastries. And this one really hurts. The California flavored nuts, the Jordan almonds, as well as tortilla chips and the burnt peanuts. Cookies with red icing or decorations, hazelnut spread, artisan popcorns, cheese-flavored snacks, kettle corn, yogurt-dipped pretzels, funfetti everything, cheesecakes, Keebler vanilla sugar wafers, and traditional butter shortbread cookies. Why? Oh, why is there red dye in vanilla wafers and shortbread cookies? Moving on to dairy and frozen. Good Humor strawberry shortcake bars, strawberry flavored milk, strawberry ice creams, spumoni ice cream, peppermint ice cream, caramel dipped apples, certain other ice cream flavors, frozen yogurts, ice pops, frozen fruit bars. Moving on to fruit products, maraschino cherries, and many of those packaged fruit cocktail mixes that you buy. Beverages, Yoo-Hoo strawberry drink, Slim Fast strawberry drink, Nestle's strawberry milk, Atkins shakes, the Ensure Max protein shakes, and the Glucerna shakes that I'm very certain are prescribed, I'm putting air quotes around them, maybe also known as highly recommended, by doctors to their patients, my own in-laws included. Goya frozen concentrates, and certain sodas and fruit-flavored drinks. Moving on to medications and supplements. Many of the gummy vitamins have red dye number 3. Some cough syrups, some acetaminophen, the pain reliever, some fluoxetine, which is an antidepressant, some gabapentin, which is an anticonvulsant. How about heartburn meds? How about Pediasure Grow and Gain kids ready to drink strawberry shakes? We're giving poison to our kids, sometimes at the recommendation of our physicians. How does this list make you feel? I will tell you that I feel depressed and anxious, and here are some words I've never said before in the 64 podcasts that I recorded and dropped preceding this one. I am really, really, really pissed. Why, food companies? Why? Why couldn't we find a long list of the foods in any of the news reports? Why is it taken so long to ban red dye number 3? It's difficult to comprehend that it's taken so long for this action to happen, particularly because the lab rats, which were exposed to red dye number 3 back in the 1980s, developed tumors all over their bodies. So even though this should have happened over 3 decades ago, and it's maddening, it is finally happening now. And we should take some small comfort in that. But we can't wait any longer. We would be wise to make the effort to get rid of the harmful foods and drinks and supplements and medications as soon as possible. When you check your labels, this is what you're looking for. You're looking for it listed as red 3, or FD&C red number 3, or red dye number 3. Among others, I'm sure, but those were the ones that I found referenced on the websites that I mentioned earlier. So what can you do? Get out your magnifying glass. I keep one in my kitchen drawer. I keep one in my purse. I keep one at my desk. I use the magnifying glass to scour every label, because I will tell you that oftentimes the poisonous ingredients are in the finest of print. Check out the link I've included in the description box to the list of the over 3,000 items on the EWG website. You can use an app to help you. I use the YUKA app, which has been a huge help to my family and to me of clearing the garbage products and toxin foods out of our home. There are some other apps too. The Bobby's recommendation app is another one. I'm going to link the mention to these in the description box. We need to be vigilant. You need to be your own advocate. You need to buy fresh, cook fresh, and eat fresh. We need to do, as nutritionists and health coaches like myself have been recommending for years, we need to shop the perimeters of the grocery store where all the freshest things are sold. We need to stop bringing processed foods into our home. If it's in a box or plastic packaging and it has a label, and it's got a label with words that you can't pronounce or understand, then 99% that means it's filled with junk. And worse than junk, it may be carcinogens. This is not a political statement today. This is a health statement. This is a warning. This is a public service announcement. Our food is killing us. I'm quite certain that our discussion of this topic, you and I discussing this, is far from over. This is too enormous, too huge of an issue to tackle in one podcast or one discussion or one grocery shopping trip. It took the FDA and the food manufacturers way too long to address this problem, this nightmare, this horrendous poisoning of our food. We can't wait any longer. We are not going to wait. Let's get started today. Let's support and encourage each other. I'm here to help you. The first step is to right now go and clean out the rubbish. You know I'm going to do it too. I'll be doing it right along with you. And of course, and as always, my dear devoted listeners in the United States and the 30 other countries around the world who are tuning in and joining us, I am wishing you well.